Okay, this is Shifting Gears review part 2 starring Catherine Barrell and Tyler Hines. If you didn't see part 1, go to part 1 because I definitely give some tips and tricks of what it's like to be a woman in a male-dominated field. And we see Jess, she's in this car restoration competition. All right, so some of the odd things about this movie was that they had Tyler Hines' character, Luke. He had a toothpick in his mouth the entire time. And it's like, why? Okay, I have several car mechanics and dealership owning relatives in my family, so I don't know a lot about car restoration, but I definitely have a lot of mechanics in my family, and this is something they love to do, especially fix up old luxury cars, right? And the one thing that I can tell you is they don't walk around with a toothpick in their mouth. Hallmark, I don't know who's doing the research for these movies, but they're missing the ball and it's becoming a little stereotypical. I think a man can be into car restoration and he doesn't have to walk around with a toothpick or he doesn't have to smoke cigarettes or any of that kind of stuff. All right, back to the premise. So now Jess is entering this competition to save her dad's car shop. She's good at car restoration. Luke admits that she's good at it, and somehow he gets wrangled into entering this competition because someone had dropped out just before filming started. He's got the experience. He's already at this car show. Jess is a little baffled because Luke's father's company doesn't need the money, but obviously her father needs the money. And here they are working together. So sparks start to fly between the two of them. But we find out that Luke's father is at it again. He didn't learn his lesson and he doesn't care about his son's happiness because he is trying to buy out Jess's father's car shop before it goes into foreclosure. He sees it as helping Jess's father, but the car shop, the restoration shop, that is their legacy. And once again, Luke's father is trying to take it away from them. And once again, Luke gets the heads up and knows that his father is about to make this move. Now, to Luke's credit, he does say to his father he really loves Jess and this is going to mess up their relationship. Once again, she's going to know that she can't trust him. Also, Luke lets his dad know that his grandfather would have never wanted to do business this way. This is not how grandpa did it. This is just how daddy did it, and it's not right. And Luke says if he ever takes over this company, this is not how he's going to run it. He is not going to crush the competition. He wants to consider what's good for the community and not what's good for the almighty dollar. So I liked that about Luke's character, but unfortunately, his dad doesn't take his advice. And he still makes an offer to Jess's father. Jess's father tells Jess, and boom, bang, boom. These two are in the present, but now dealing with the past, with Luke's dad once again betraying Jess's dad and Luke not coming to Jess. So what's going to happen with these two? Somehow they make it work, and they end up in the top 3 finalists for this car restoration competition. And it's funny because a lot of the men, except for Luke, that were in the competition was like, the goal is like to knock Jess out. They were like, she's going to be the first person to go because she's a woman. But even the man that was running the competition said Jess is more than qualified and definitely better than some of these dudes. But he can see from the filming she doesn't believe in herself. Like I said, if you're a woman in a male-dominating field, you cannot let them smell the fear. Yes, there's fear there. You may be the first, or you may be one of 2, or you may be one of 3, wherever you are. And you've got to deal with it all over, that they're not seeing you as smart. I've definitely been in situations where someone I have more credentials than tries to man-explain something I've been working on for like 5 years, and something that I know in and out. And it's super offensive, but it's one of those things where you can't make it personal. You've got to press on. You've got to work your hardest, and you've got to show up your best self. And once again, Jess's self-confidence was really an issue for me. I don't know how I'd feel about being on live television. I know what you guys are thinking. I'm doing TikToks, but when I'm doing TikToks, I'm talking to you guys like you are a friend of mine. When I first started doing these TikToks, I stumbled a lot. I had a lot of moments where I wanted things to be perfect. I try to do these TikToks in one take, and I honestly give myself grace. Even if I messed up a character's name, I am human, and that's what you're seeing. You're not going to get perfection on any of my channels because I am simply absolutely not perfect. I'm showing up flawed. And so I understood Jess. I just think she needed to get it together faster in the movie. The stakes are high. Luke's father is like a vulture circling her dad's car restoration shop. And baby, everything is riding on Jess. Jess's dad is proud of her no matter what she does. Anyway, she finds out about what Luke's father's doing. They have a fight. And they're now one of 3 finalists. Well, they're each a finalist. There's 3 finalists. So the day before, the last day of the competition, Jess finishes her car restoration early. She makes it that Luke can't see what she's done. He's working on his car and he accidentally puts paint all over Jess's work. It was not intentional, but it happened. So Jess comes back. She sees her car. There's not a lot of time. She feels like she's going to have to drop out of this competition. Luke lets her know that it wasn't personal. He would never try to sabotage her. And in the beginning, Jess was really feeling funky about it. But then she really thought about Luke's heart, and she knew that Luke is different than his father, so it had to be an accident. So what does my girl do? Jess spends the night working on that car. And she says, you know what? If life gives me lemonades, baby, I'm going to make lemonade. And that's exactly what she did. Jess wins the competition. And by far, from the little I know about car restoration, her car was the most souped up. And it was beautiful. I love the color scheme. She knocked Luke and the other guy out. Boom, bang, boom. She wins the money. She saves her dad's car shop. And guess what? She still gets the guy. And not only does she get the guy, she is offered her own car restoration show that she can do on TV. And she says, I want to do it with my partner. The network says, yes, you two have so much chemistry, and we see that they start their car restoration show together, Luke and Jess hand in hand. What's great about this romance is that Luke definitely sees Jess as his equal, even sees her more talented in certain areas. He gave her the Thunderbird because he knew she was the only person who could restore that car, and that car is the car that she actually won with. So this is why I gave this a 6 out of 10. There were some great parts of this movie, and it was nice to see their dads actually find a compromise that's going to work for the community, and Jess's dad gets to keep his shop. There were some beautiful moments, but once again, the stereotypical stuff of having Luke with a toothpick in his mouth for most of it. Ugh, like, why did we do that? Also, I read some of the Hallmarky Facebook comments. Some people did not think that Catherine and Tyler had chemistry. So it's kind of hard for me because I'm not used to seeing Catherine in a lot of movies, and I am used to seeing a lot of Tyler Hyde movies. I would say he's not like Ryan Purvey, where Ryan Purvey is an amazing actor, but the chemistry, there's only a certain type of actress is going to have like chemistry with him. And you honestly won't know who has chemistry until you watch one of his movies, because it's either they have chemistry or not. But Tyler Hyde is also not like Andrew Walker. Andrew Walker got chemistry with everybody. Shout out to Andrew Walker's wife, honey, because that man is beautiful. And I've never watched a movie where he really doesn't have chemistry with someone. And as a matter of fact, if I had to think of one movie that was slightly awkward, it's the one that he has with Lacey. And I have a feeling she's the one that made it awkward. But I think Andrew Walker could have chemistry with a tree, baby. And we'd always be like, it's muy caliente. That's how we would feel. So some people said they didn't have chemistry. My whole thing is, what about car restoration? Says springtime. I don't know. And y'all got us in springtime. And this is a ring by spring, baby. This was car restoration. It did have love. It had friendship. It had family. It had competition. That's why I gave it a 6 out of 10. It didn't quite deliver to be a 7, but it definitely was a solid 6, which was a surprise, given the title of Shifting Gears. Once I realized it wasn't shifting gears and it was shifting, we were in there. So shout out to Tyler Hyde. I still need you to pick better scripts, boo. Shout out to Catherine Barrell. Thank you so much for representing for the ladies. And I don't know, overall, I really enjoyed it. Not enough to say everybody watch it again, but enough to get through it and not have a headache. So once again, Shifting Gears, I'm giving a 6 out of 10. Did you watch this movie? If you watched it, what did you like? What did you dislike? Put it in the comments.